Toy Rewind.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Toy Rewind. This series will be covering many finished toy lines of the past and hopefully more lesser known ones. This first episode will cover a series of Dragon Ball model kits made in the mid-90s by Bandai. I own the first figure released in the line, that being Volume 1 Super Saiyan Gohan. But before we can get into the model kit, I will provide a short history on the line itself.
Dragon Ball Z! Now there are over 100 of your favorite Dragon Ball Z minifigures for you to collect. And look! There are even super-sized Dragon Ball Z action figures with movable arms and legs for realistic battle action. It's a fight to the finish. But who will win? Never has there been a dark force so strong and so powerful to threaten Earth. Can Dragon Ball Z save the day? Dragon Ball Z action figures, each sold separately from Irwin.
The full action kit series was originally released in 1996. The line was made up of 6 volumes, those of which being Volume 1 Super Saiyan Gohan, Volume 2 Super Saiyan Goku, Volume 3 Super Saiyan Goten and Super Trunks, Volume 4 Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Volume 5 Fusion Gotenks, and Volume 6 Gogeta. The line was partially released in America by Irwin Toys in the year 2000. The line was mostly made up of original figures but did use parts of Volume 1 and Volume 2's models. The line was also released in Europe by AB Toys. The line was renamed to Super Gorillas or Super Warriors in English. There was only 5 models made, all of which are hard to find. Seeing as we already covered the history of the figures itself, it's about time we move on to the model kit. Before we can actually build the model kit, we have to actually unbox it first. Here's a full side view of the box in its entirety. Now for a more in-depth curving box. Actually comparing it to a figure, it's actually really small, but the actual box itself has a lot of. It looks nice, honestly. It's a little bent up, but then again, it's old at the same time. Full action kit series, Bandai logo. It actually says full coloring and full action system on it. Yeah, it's just like it's some of the few English sets on the box. You actually have some more English sets there. Here's the side of the box, or top. Yeah, it's number 1. You have the back, super real action system on it, Super Saiyan Gohan. The actual image of Gohan itself on the box is actually really cool. Of course, the bottom's the same as the top. Moving to the back, you can actually see there's some English text on there. Yeah, you can actually read the text yourself if you want. And it's just kind of basic stuff talking about the actual figure itself. So, that's pretty just basic. But besides that, you also have the actual Earth figures in the series. And you can have like an image of Gohan, which is like really high quality. And just the images of the Earth figures. Now to see what's inside of the box. Here's a quick look at all of the accessories, or like items that come in the box. First, you have kind of an interesting item. It's actually a poster for the original Dragon Ball anime, as you can see. It's actually like really high quality, at least for saying from like the mid 90s. Like it has the main cast of Dragon Ball right there, really nice looking. But it's just more than just a poster. It's actually an advertisement for the at the time new Super Battle Collection series. It was a series of like little figures that lasted for like a while. So here's just kind of a look at it. It's in complete Japanese, of course. This is a Japanese release figure. So it's just kind of interesting to look at and see in the past when this was like new material. Kind of like the point of the series. Like these are all newly released figures alongside with that. And now these are like ancient history, I guess you could call it. You got all of the figures from the C lineup of figures. GT isn't included in it, but I don't think the GT figures even out in 1996. So here's just kind of a quick look at that. But here's the mail itself, and here's like just some images I took of like every part of the manual. Of course, the figure comes with just more than manual and poster. Here's a look at just some of the model pieces that comes with it. Yeah, we're gonna get more into all of this in the assembly process later when we cover the actual figure itself. But this is just kind of a quick look of it all backed up, new, so you can kind of get a look at like everything go with it. Like the rubber on this, yeah, it was a little dusty, but that's just because it's old. It's fairly flexible. Yeah, we're gonna cover more about that in the future. But here's just the boots, finishing off all the stuff that was included, and like the hair pieces. Interesting about the hair piece, you can kind of see it from there. I'll go more into later, but now let's actually cover the figure.
One eternity later.
Oh, so I finally finished the model. It took forever, but here's just kind of a quick look at Gohan before we get into a more extensive one. So here's just the figure. Here's all the accessories that come with the figure. Starting off, it comes with two heads. One is the Super Saiyan head. As you can see, it's actually really good, I guess, for like a figure from like the 90s. Like fairly good head sculpt. I like the design of it. Makes it really stand out, especially in the face. Makes it stand out more from the base form head when you can look at. The heads are actually two different sculpts too, when the covers use the same. Because like I said, I kind of prefer Super Saiyan sculpt better. But this one does have imperfections. One of the biggest ones is that it's actually molded in yellow plastic. See, there's a little stain from that. It was actually spray painted on. You can tell by the fact that when you actually remove the hair from the figure, the inside is just the yellow molded plastic that's in, which is, I don't know, a little cheap, I guess. Because it generally does look like somebody just took a spray paint can and just sprayed the whole thing down and wasn't even like paint or anything. It actually comes with hands, a pair of fist hands and a pair of open hands. The fists themselves are not much to say. They generally are just like fist hands. You have the open hands themselves, which are one of the more explosive hands. They're really like open palm hands, like completely. They're not more of like the Kamehameha hands, but it can be used as such. It makes the figure kind of more interesting with all the accessory it comes with. Now is a more in-depth and thorough review of like the figure sculpt. Generally, already stated before, I really like the head sculpt. It gets a way more serious vibe from it. The body itself is made of the rubber material. There are some marks in there. That's just from some of the molded plastic that was on the stand, the rack that the model kits are on. That's just kind of stuck onto there. You see, like, you have all the figure's details. The rubber is still there. It is kind of hindered. It isn't as flexible, but it can, like, was like removable. You had to put it on. The belt is also good, but the belt also has the same problem as the base head, and that's the fact that if you actually look under it, see, it was also molded in like a orangish yellow plastic, and it was just spray painted red. You can tell that from like the little racks. The armbands, everything are good. Honestly, I feel like the figure, it's pretty good for its time. Not to mention just like, but the boots themselves are actually like really well sculpted. I really like details, all the wrinkles on it and everything. It just really gives it a nice detail. Now here's the articulation. Starting off with the head, it has a basic G60 rotate. It's balls, so it can go like up about that far, down about that far, and that's a little tilt. The arms are G60, but the rubber does get bent to the way, as you can see. It can go outwards about that far. It swivels. It also has a bend at the elbow. Not to mention it has a swivel at the hand and a hinge movement on it. Going to the torso itself, it's just a waist swivel. That's about it. And the legs is when it starts to get a little bad. No, just really bad. The rubber actually isn't that good for this. It's like the outwards is kind of mad. It does kind of warp the rubber sculpt, so it doesn't really make it look that good. The backwards is better than some Mirror figures, but that's really just because there's so much of sculpt going back there. Outwards is when you really see how much the rubber messes with the figure. Not to mention that the hinge on it, like at the knee or the bend, it's like barely noticeable. Like he just bends his leg like a little slightly, which makes you wonder why the ad is gold in the first place if you can't even use it. Well, and then you have the boot, which can swivel in one piece, but you can still move the leg. It's just not much use. Gohan with the SH Figuarts, Gohan with Marvel Legends and Black Series, Gohan with Dragon Stars, and finally Gohan with McFarlane Toys. For the closing notes, I will have to say that in total, I feel like this is a pretty good model kit, especially one released in the mid-90s. The Gohan figure does have its flaws, like a lot of the parts look like it was just simply spray painted on, and the fact that the articulation is hindered at the legs, and that's about it. But it does generally look nice, and I feel like it'll be kind of a cool little thing to play in your collection. So this has been Just J Studio, signing out.